So if you have ever wondered whether the threshold for filing a 1099 is $400 or $600, I need to stop you right there. Because in 2026, the rules just changed. And if you're operating on old information, it could cost you. So let me break this down, because there are actually two different thresholds and they mean two completely different things. So stay with me. So first is the $400 rule. This one has not changed and it's not going anywhere. If you are self-employed, a contractor, a freelancer, a sole proprietor, a gig worker, and your net self-employment income is $400 or more in a year, you are required to file the Schedule SE and pay self-employment tax. This is the 15.3% of your net earnings. This covers Social Security and Medicaid. So it's $400. That's the threshold. Not $600, not $2,000, $400. A lot of people think if they don't get a 1099 form, then they don't owe taxes. That is absolutely wrong. That is not how that works. All income is taxable from $1. The 1099 form is just a reporting tool. Whether you get one or not has nothing to do whether you owe taxes. So write that down. Now here is the big change for 2026. For years, the rule was if you paid a contractor $600 or more in a calendar year, you will be required to send them a Form 1099 NEC. That threshold just changed. So thanks to the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which was signed into law in July of 2025, the threshold for that form for actually 1099 NEC and the 1099 miscellaneous is now $2,000. That's starting January 1st of 2026. So if you're a business owner who hires subcontractors, you only need to issue this form if you pay that person $2,000 or more during the year. If you paid a sub $1,500 for a job in 2026, no 1099 required from you. But here's the critical part. That sub still owes taxes on every single dollar that they made. The form just does not have to be filed. And starting in 2027, that $2,000 number will actually be adjusted for inflation every year. So you might want to keep an eye on any IRS announcements each fall. Now, what about getting paid through apps like PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Stripe? That falls under a completely different form. That's called the 1099-K. There was a lot of confusion around this one for the past few years because the IRS kept changing the rules. So here is where it landed. The threshold for 1099-K is now permanently set at $20,000 and more than 200 transactions in a year. So if you collect payments through apps and you do not hit both of those numbers, no 1099-K is coming your way. But again, you still owe taxes on all of it. So the form is not the trigger, your income is. So let's bring this home. If you are a trade business owner, a contractor, or a self-employed professional, here is what you need to take away from this video. Number one, track every dollar you make regardless of whether a 1099 is coming. The IRS is not waiting on a form to find your income. Number two, if you hire subs, your new 1099 NEC threshold is $2,000 for 2026. Update your records and your bookkeeping system accordingly. Number three, if you get paid through apps, the 1099-K threshold is $2,000 and 200 transactions, but your tax obligation starts at $400 in net income. Number four, set aside about 25 to 30% of every payment for taxes, whether or not a 1099 shows up in your mailbox. That money belongs to the IRS. The rules changed. Your habits need to change with them. If you are not sure how any of this applies to your specific situation, that is exactly what I help my clients figure out. At First Fruit Financial Management, we specialize in bookkeeping, tax prep, and payroll for small business owners and sole proprietors right here in Texas. Drop a comment below, search First Fruit Financial Management on the socials, and let's make sure your finances are set up the right way for 2026. See you in the next one.